Hi everybody, welcome to Flipping My Classroom. Hopefully by the end of this video you'll be able to start off learning some of the tools that I've introduced in this video and make a decision on whether or not maybe you want to take a chance and flip in your own classroom. For me personally, I learned from John Bergman. He's a guy that goes around the country and speaks on flipping a classroom and the benefits of doing it. And I saw a presentation he gave in 2013 in Boston. And since then, it's been something that I've really wanted to do, and I've actually implemented a little bit in one of my classes. But hopefully, after looking at these two websites, maybe you can learn a lot more too, and maybe decide to make that same flip. If you want to take a look at this definition of what flip teaching is, if you have no idea what flip teaching is, it essentially is taking the lecture outside of the class and making a video PowerPoint video lecture, so to speak, and allowing students to watch it at home while they come to class, they can actually focus on doing more critical thinking activities in group activities and spending time with the teacher on one-on-one conferences. And so really the number one reason to flip your classroom is to engage students in more critical thinking in the actual classroom, not outside where they don't have your help. I think of me in high school in math. I would do good in class, but then I'd go home for homework and be stuck on certain problems. And I was always mad because at that point, that's when I needed the teacher to help me with the problem, but they weren't there. So with the flipped classroom, now you can work on those problems in the class, and that's really good. And so just to kind of put this in context of Bloom's taxonomy, the very bottom or the base of his pyramid is comprehension and knowledge. That traditionally is done in the classroom with lecture, while you usually assign homework with the higher level thinking skills. But now with flipped classroom, you switch that, and now in class you focus on the critical thinking areas, the 4 levels that we're looking at here, and then at home you can worry about the more easy, more individual content and comprehension of a certain subject. That's something a student can handle at home. So why did I personally choose to flip my AP Psych class? Well, there's 3 reasons, I believe. The first is so that I could spend more time in class doing conferences with students, doing more activities, watching more videos that were really important for AP Psychology, because I never really had the time to do that before. There's so much content in this curriculum that it was almost impossible to spend much time doing something other than lecture, but now I can. A second reason is now I can spend more time one-on-one with those quiet students that never want to talk in class and the lazy students that don't want to do anything in class, because now it can motivate those kids that don't want to do anything because now they have to deal directly with me. And then there are the students that are too quiet to speak in front of a big group, but they're much more comfortable in a small group or with me individually. So that's great. And so how do I begin? If you're asking yourself that question, you really want to start creating video lectures, a bank of video lectures. Now, with these lectures, it's important to know that you just don't want a student to sit there and watch them. You want them to interact with these videos, and they can do that by maybe writing notes. And if you want them to take a step further, you can upload these videos to Zaption.com. Now, Zaption is a cool tool that I love, actually, and it allows essentially a student, or I'm sorry, the teacher, to add questions and additional information to videos from YouTube. And you can see with this video that, of course, I didn't create, but this is, if you're a student, this is what would happen if you were going to watch this video.
Every 4 years, Americans who are 18 or older have a big responsibility. Our votes decide who becomes the President of the United States.
And now the video automatically stops here and it asks a question that I created. How often does the U.S. elect a president? Every 2 years or every 4 years? Well, hopefully they'd hit every 4 years, submit that, and then I would receive the answer myself. And so they would continue when
Unfortunately, the U.S. election system isn't that simple.
Right? And then at some point when it gets to another part of the video, it'll also stop. In the case of this part of the video,
when that states number of electors,
you can see that I've added extra information that the video doesn't talk about. And so you can do a whole bunch of stuff. If you look at the top toolbar here, it allows you to add open response. That allows you to add a drawing, an image slide, and a text slide, which is what you're looking at right here. So Zaption's really, really awesome. And even better yet, after the students are done with it, you can view all the statistics involved in the students that answer the questions, like how many students got a certain question right, how long did it take the average student to watch the video, how often did students go back and re-watch something. It gives you so much cool information about how the students are interacting with these videos. So it's really, really great. Great tool. Take a look at it. And sorry, I have to flip through this real quick. Okay. And so when it comes to making videos, what's the best way to do that? What programs do you use? Well, if you're just getting going, I recommend one of two. Either Screencast-O-Matic, which is free and runs completely from the internet, from its website. And it's just a screencast. It captures a screencast. It captures your voice and it shows what you're doing on your screen. And so does Smartboard's recording function as well. That's what I use because we have a Smartboard, and you don't need the internet to do this one. And so that's why I do that. I'm in Venezuela, and the internet can be pretty poor sometimes, so this is more reliable for me. Then there's, of course, QuickTime for Macs. I've tried using that before. It didn't work great for me. It didn't record my voice. And so, but give it a shot. Maybe it'll work for you. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. But I use Smartboard mostly. If you want to look at one of my Smartboard recording screencasts, you can go to my website here, or you can go to this direct YouTube site and take a look if you're interested. And then there's other tools. For instance, the one I'm using now to make this video is Camtasia Studio. This allows you to record your actual picture as you're going through the lecture. It allows you to do a green screen, which is what you're looking at right here, which allows you to like pop up a chart here that you take from the internet and have you interact with it through the video, in the video. And then it allows you to do a whole bunch of other things as well here. Like you can take a look at this. Man, where is it? There we go. So it allows you to add annotations in case you forgot to say something in the video. It allows you to do cool transitions, certain animations like fading in, zooming out, all that. It's really good. And it's really super user-friendly as well. They have great video tutorials on how to use that. And then, just so you know, if you really like it, it's only $100 to buy it if you actually want to commit to Camtasia. And I promise you, I am not working for Camtasia and not being paid by them to promote them. But it's the one I know, so I can vouch for it a little bit. And John Bergman, the guy I talked to you about before, he uses it. And so what does an average day in my AP class look like? Well, take a look here. Really, my ideal outcome is that I have at least an hour out of the hour and a half of class to engage in an activity of some sort or watch a video. But the first 15 to 30 minutes, I really try to answer questions students may still have. I give them a quiz that shows me that they watched the video from the night before. And so that's the routine I like to get my students in. In terms of benefits, I don't have to rush through a lecture anymore, so I can be a little more laid back in class, which I'm really happy about. I have more time. As I said, I have at least an hour in class to do more activities with the kids. And from what students tell me anyways, they understand the material better because the video lectures allow them to go back and rewatch material that maybe they didn't catch the first time or that they didn't understand. So if they need more processing time, that video allows them that opportunity to do that. So that's really good. But there are challenges for sure in doing this. One, it's time consuming not only to make the videos, but also to plan the activities that students are going to engage in when they get to class. However, it's really kind of a short-term concern because once you get those done, you'll have those videos and activities for years to come. So that's great. For me, again, I mentioned spotty internet as being a challenge. And then there are the students that don't watch the videos. So they come to class not knowing anything and they can't really do the activity that you prepared for them. So you have to maybe have them spend time watching the video in class on their laptop. And one big challenge that I actually don't have any experience with, but people I've talked to have, and that's student and parent pushback. Essentially, many student and parents feel that you're substituting teaching in the classroom with these videos at home. And so that gives them a lot of ammunition to criticize you and say, you're not teaching anymore. But when in reality, what you're doing is helping them even more because you're putting more responsibility on them to watch these videos at home and then be a more active student in class, actually using higher order thinking skills in class. And in the end, that's better for them. That'll help prepare them more for college, and which is really what college is about, engaging in more group activities and more more reading and writing, which you can focus on in the class. And so a solution is to fully explain in your syllabus on your website, and then verbally, first day of class with students, what it is that you're doing with flipped teaching and why you're doing it. And then if parents need an explanation, have them come to your classroom after school, and you can do like a parent-teacher night where you explain the same thing that you explain to the students. And I think at the end of that, you'll have more buy-in, and that'll make your road much, much smoother. And so here's some of my student feedback. Here you can see it's all positive. People like the video lectures, which is really good. It actually, in my opinion, and from what students say, the video allows, how should I say this? The video allows you to do a couple things, really. It allows you to still present information with your own personality, and it allows the students to get that same presentation at home that they would get in class, but at home, and they still get to hear your voice. They still get to maybe see your picture, and so that personalizes it for them. It's better than just putting like a video from TED Ed per se and say, here, watch this, and that's it. No, you still have yourself, explaining it to them, so there's still that kind of connection between you two. And then you can see here again, while students definitely feel that an in-class lecture is still beneficial and they still prefer it at times, the trend is more towards doing these videos at home. You don't even have it, for me anyways, none of my kids, answered 1 through 3, which was more negative towards doing these video lectures. And here you can read some student feedback and their reactions to it. I like this one in particular because I never even thought about that being a reason why this was better. So then, to take it to the next step, you can engage in something called Flip Mastery, and this is something John Bergman has done. And this essentially is a system in which students are not allowed to move on to a new unit unless they've mastered the previous unit. And you can do that in any way you really want. John Bergman, in a video that he did, I think I have it right up here. No, I got rid of it. But if you go to YouTube and you type in Flip Mastery in the classroom, this video will pop up, which is John talking about what he does. And he says that if a student doesn't reach 75% on his unit end assessment, the student can't move on. They have to go back, learn the material that they're still shaky on, and then do a new assessment that will show their mastery of that content. And then they can move on. And so that's a really good idea because it really forces those kids that know how to kind of play the game and just get by. It forces them to actually engage more in class. So that's really good. And so there are some changes for the teacher and the student. He says that with his classes, you don't even have a typical classroom anymore. They come in, they know what they have to do. Some kids might be on their laptop watching a video. Some kids might be doing a writing assignment. Others might be doing another assessment that you've given them. But it allows students to work at their own pace to a certain extent, and to decide what they want to do in class on that given day, as long as they're engaged in something that has to do with the class. And so that's really good in sense of teaching kids time management. All right. And so thank you, guys. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'll hopefully can answer them. And then hopefully with the time we have remaining together, you can kind of explore more of Camtasia, Adobe, or Zaption. All right. Bye, guys.